You know, it's tough to break into Hollywood. That is, if you don't have a sex tape on the internet. But if you're one of the regular people out there, you really have to rely on the quote-unquote wisdom of network execs to get an audience. Or you can go to something called Channel 101.
Laser Fart is a show about a guy that farts lasers.
You heard right. Laser fart. Probably not something you're going to see on network TV anytime soon.
Oh, it's 7:30. Time for Judging Amy.
Neither is bio-level trouble.
Katie, you don't have to say anything. Believe me, it's not you. It's me.
You see, Hollywood can be a tough town. Everybody has a dream, but it's tough to actually get to see that on the big screen. But there's a couple independent producers of television shows that don't need televisions. They get to screen their hard work here at CineSpace, right in Hollywood.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much. We give you the 3rd season of Channel 101.
Anybody in the world that's listening to us right now is allowed to submit a 5-minute first episode of any kind of television show that they want. The audience watches all of these pilots. They vote on the ones they want to come back the next month. If you get voted back, you continue to make episodes until you don't get the right amount of votes, and then you get canceled.
You may recognize Channel 101 co-creator Dan Harmon as the hero of Laser Fart.
It's about a guy who ate a contaminated bean burrito and now he can shoot lasers out of his ass.
You may not recognize fellow Channel 101 creator Rob Schrab in the gorilla suit.
Your lasers are the wrong polarity, Earthman! But we got really, really bored and pissed off by the fact that everybody in this town has a million reasons why things shouldn't happen. So we said, let's just start making stuff.
The idea doesn't have to be that clever. In the end, people like Gilligan's Island. People like a guy farting lasers.
Not enough people liked Who's Teaching Whom. It was canceled after 4 episodes, but it's still pretty funny.
Your parents likely left you because you were a nobody. Nobody wants a nobody for a daughter.
If you haven't guessed already, it's satirizing 80s family TV.
I was Punky Brewster 3 times for Halloween growing up, and then when we watched it again together at our ages now, it's so much more horrifying than you could ever imagine.
I'd like to explore, and I'll get into stuff. Maybe I can look around, you know. Rudy!
The show that brought the house down, House of Cosby's. It's creator Justin Roiland's first episode about the problems of a guy who keeps cloning Bill Cosby.
Well, I've always had this weird thing with Cosby. With no disrespect to Dr. Cosby, I really hope he sees it and loves it and adopts me as his new son.
Cosby number 8 broke into the basement, you see. He's cloning more Cosbys.
Tattletale, Cosby. I knew you'd be useful at some point.
And now he's got to make another one for next month. We can't wait. And neither can the rest of Channel 101.
Hollywood is dead, man. Just make your show and become a star overnight in your living room. Don't let the world get you down, girl. Let me lift you up with my light.
I've had that song in my head for the last week, and it will never leave. But I am joined now by the creators of Channel 101, Rob Schrab and Dan Harmon. Hi, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Yes,
Very excited to be here.
That was very, very well put together.
Well,
Yeah,
thank you.
You guys should submit something.
Maybe
Good editors.
I will. Let's talk after this.
All right.
I want to talk about Channel 101 in a second, but first I want to talk about Heat, Vision, and Jack, because you guys are actually known for doing that just as much as well. And that was a pilot with Ben Stiller and Jack Black, right? Tell me about that.
Yeah, Ben directed that, Jack starred in it, and you know, that was sort of, in certain ways, that sort of ties into Channel 101 because that was rejected by Fox, and then we said, well, we want to do the rejecting, so we started our own network, even if it's not on real TV.
Yeah, like Dan and I were in the business for like about 5 years, and we moved out here from Milwaukee. We came out here to make stuff, and for 5 years we made like one thing, and that got axed right away.
Right.
So we just said, you know, we're not making any money. No one wants to pick up our weird and crazy ideas, but let's just see if people like it.
Right.
So let's start shooting.
The craziest thing we found out, I'm sorry, but that we found out when we came out here was that, you know, the more talented you are, not to refer to us as talented, but it's like they kind of paralyze you with the money because you're always waiting on your next deal. You sign these contracts. Something's always in development.
Right.
And so we spent, look, a good 5 or 6 years really doing nothing of any merit, of any net worth.
Waiting. Like a lot of people, like actors and writers and directors are waiting for their big break. And we said, let's make our own luck. Let's talk
about that. Let's talk about Laser Fart. Now, this is a joke, but it's one of the more popular ones on Channel 101, right?
Yeah, it's a perfect example of the fact that I'm always telling people when they try to submit to Channel 101, they want advice on what kind of shows, and I want to come up with this really good idea. Forget about the idea. If it's one thing we've learned from real television, it's that ideas are not important. The popular shows are not about anything at all. They're about people hanging out. They just have to be well executed, keep them moving, entertain people, make them feel welcome by something. And Laser Fart is the hackiest concept you could ever come up with. It's the least clever 3-year-old mentality, but you then approach that with your kind of Joseph Campbellian structure model, and
you just make each other laugh, and you just like and you learn that by doing stuff. You know, the pressure's off because you really don't care about it because it's a so-called Laser Fart. You just goof off.
The important thing with Channel 101 is you gotta just, you know, that's our advice to the people, is do the show that if you were seeing it on television, you would not change the channel. That's it. You have to start there. Just like whatever kind of show you've always wanted to be in. I don't care if it's a CSI ripoff. Like if you love CSI, you love Twin Peaks, you love soap operas. Andy Goldblatt, you saw some of it. She loved Punky Brewster. Before that, they loved. They did a Nancy Drew thing. She's kind of like a female nerd for Punky Brewster. Whatever makes you a nerd, whatever you're so obsessively into, that's a passion.
Make that show and put yourself in it and show us why it's awesome.
Part of the big thing too is the Channel 101 website, and I want to show a clip from this. This is Kicked in the Nuts. This is actually one of the most popular downloads that you guys have.
We're about to find out why.
If people can't come to LA, there we go. Kicked in the Nuts. I wonder why it's so popular, really. You know?
Yeah, this is a huge breakout. People in Europe, you know, we're backpacking. People from America went to Europe backpacking and ran into people. When they said, I'm from Los Angeles, they said, kicked in the nuts. That was how they said hello. They were like, Channel 101, kicked in the nuts. I think the secret of it was that smart people can feel like this is a cynical satire of these kind of dumb shows. But dumb people, the dumb person inside all of us, just takes a great deal of pleasure in watching someone's nut get kicked.
What are you guys working on now? We're almost out of time.
We're going to do WonderCon the 18th through the 20th in San Francisco. It's a comic book convention, and we're going to be selling DVDs and giving out calendars. And Dan and I are going to be doing a Q&A, and we're going to do a screening of the best of. But check out 101.com and check out our
Channel 101.
Channel101.com.
Yeah, check it out. And you can submit. Anybody can submit. And
you have to. Otherwise, we have to stop.
Okay. Well, thank you, fellas, for coming on the show.
Thanks for having us.
You're welcome anytime.
Yeah.
Like they said, go to Channel 101. It's got a lot of good stuff. Check it out. You'll sit there for hours and laugh. Still ahead, Kevin Rose has some of the hottest tech deals on the web just for you. And when we come back, your favorite tech gadgets and gizmos might be endangered. The EFF is here with their list of soon-to-be illegal gadgets when the Screensavers continues.